Hey everybody, welcome back to Trade Show University. Man, I am scouring the world trying to find the best just the absolute best guest to have on here to share unique perspectives on different topics that are going to help us. Sometimes it's a little out of the box, and that's what today is. And I am just really excited about today's interview. This person I met a few months ago, and we had great conversations around a bunch of different areas in life and hit on one thing, and that is the why. The why. Why do we do things? And I'm like, you know what? This could be a great topic for anyone that's exhibiting at trade shows. And today, to talk about the why and so much more, I have on Joel Bromley. Joel is a husband, he's a father of four, and he's a financial coach. And he's on the mission to build relationships stronger than the third pig build houses. I love that. Joel and his wife, Caitlin, they are the team behind Bromley Financial Coaching. And they can't wait to be in the front row as their clients discover their why for life and become a unicorn in the industry. And that's what he wants for all of us who are listening today. Joel, it is an honor. Welcome to Trade Show University.
Thanks, Jim, for that introduction. I just love talking to you. The infectiousness that you bring, and contagiousness and energy. I just love that, and that's kind of transferring onto me right now. But I think the biggest thing that we do in coaching really has nothing to do with money. So when you come to a financial coach, you're thinking investments, you're thinking those kinds of things, and we talk about some things like that. But really, it's all that stuff in behind why we do things, our habits, all those kind of things that are underneath. And that really is like 80 to 90% of why we do things. And one of the biggest things that we need to realize is that there's a why behind that. And really, then we're able to use that as a measuring stick for everything we do going forward. When we did meet those couple months ago and had lunch together, you shared with me about your marriage and your family and those kinds of things. And we talked a little bit about that why it was like how you described, how it got that way, why that was important to you. You had this desire to have a really good marriage for your kids, and that was something that you experienced growing up, and that you really wanted to emulate for that for your kids. And we talked even a little bit, we didn't get right into it, but I wonder that there's even more than that. What happens, and those are the kinds of questions we start to ask, or what happens if that didn't happen? What would that look like for your kids? If you could imagine yourself as, Scrooge being taken back with the ghosts of the past and
Yeah.
looking through the window and seeing what your family would look like if you didn't do those things. And putting all those kinds of things together really helps us to make better choices that are more aligned with what we're doing. And sometimes that can look like what you imagined not wanting to happen, what would happen if that did happen, why that bothers you. So what you described to me with that why was really good, and it connected with me. And it connected with me because I didn't have that model kind of growing up, and I think my parents did the best they could with what they had, but I didn't have that model. So that was fantastic, and I think there's even more than that, which is kind of neat. So there's always kind of digging left to do, but
Yeah, that's for sure, and that's something. Thanks for bringing that up. That is something that obviously is very important to me, and but I think a lot of people, and especially a lot of businesses, they don't dig deep down far enough. And I've seen so many people and businesses at trade shows, and they stand there, they're on their phone, they're disconnected from the entire experience. And it's almost like, okay, if you want to talk to me, you can come up and talk to me, but until then, I'm just going to be back here and checking, whatever on my phone, and I'm going to be looking like I this is the last place I want to be. But until they figure out, that the why. So let's get into that before I start going down that path. Kind of give us a definition. What exactly is a why?
well, and that's kind of where I'm starting to go with talking about your why with your family, and it's so interesting because we get into these, and we can talk about your listeners. We really talk about anything, and you start getting into shiny object syndrome. I should go here. I should be part of this. I should enroll in that. And we end up not really having much of a direction. We're just doing it because we think that's what should happen. We get distracted. We're chasing this and that and the other thing. And I don't know if you probably did with your kids, watch the movie Up.
Oh yeah.
The dog's, his name was Doug,
Yeah.
right? And he's talking, he's like, squirrel, right? And we get like that in our life, and we start thinking about all the different things that we might be missing out on, or all the things that we should be doing or whatever. And I remember for the majority of my life, so I've just turned 42, and this has been something that I've been chasing and not knowing for the majority of my life, and in various things, and careers and jobs and relationships and education and all those kinds of things. And Jim, I got to tell you, before I turned 22, I had 15 jobs.
15
jobs before I turned 22.
Wow, that's impressive, I guess. I don't know.
Well, impressive or not, but if you think I was chasing something, I didn't really know where I fit. And I guess you could look at that as, I'm just trying to find myself or whatever people say nowadays. But really, I just didn't know where I was supposed to be going. I didn't know what my purpose was. I didn't know the meaning for it. And often we don't know those things, and it seems overwhelming or too hard to try to figure out, and we just don't. And we find ourselves in these jobs or these careers that maybe we should never be in. Maybe we find ourselves at these trade shows, or the wrong trade show, or we don't know the purpose of why we're there, so we're not efficient when we're there, kind of thing, right? And that kind of, I think that's how we got connected. Actually, you were talking about things that you could do at trade shows to make your time there more effective and more productive. So when you start thinking about why you're there, knowing why you're there, and then you're able to kind of translate that into communicating that with your employees and your booth staff and stuff like that, and that helps make that even more meaningful in that time. Recently, I talked about this being difficult to even find out and discover. I was having some inner difficulties with parenting, actually, and I was thinking, well, man, I know I want to be a good dad. I know I want to do things well. And Caitlin, actually, my wife, said we take our clients through this journey of discovering why, and why it could be overarching for your whole life, but it could also be for certain things. She goes, you should really go through that why discovery guide that we have. And so I did, and I started off with that. I want to be a good dad. I want to do well. And I think most guys that are parents, that's probably real. They probably don't know too many guys that don't want to be a good dad if they have kids. But what I dug deeper into that, and as I dug deeper and deeper into that, I started thinking about my faith. So I'm a Christian. Started thinking about my faith, what that means to me, what I did and didn't have in a dad. My dad was a good dad, but what I did and didn't have in that kind of growing up. And what I really discovered was that most of all, I just want to do a really good job. I want to be able to, my kids to know that I see them, that I love them, that they matter in my life. And most of all, I was thinking about this, and most of all, I want to hear from God one day, well done. And that, I think, is what drives me. I hadn't really thought about it that way before. So it's really been impactful over these last couple of weeks and last couple of months as I've gone through that each thing that keeps coming up in parenting, where I feel like, I want to lose my mind over, these floors that I just cleaned, or whatever it is going on, and that we're just leaving the house and people aren't, getting their stuff together. And what am I choosing right now? Am I choosing that thing that is my selfish desire that I really need done right now? Or is this choosing a relationship? Am I choosing a relationship with my kids? Because that is actually truly what's the most important thing for me. And am I choosing my relationship with God? So it's really, your why is that focal point. The focal point is the directional arrow that you get to determine. It's maybe even why you get out of bed in the morning. why you keep going on really, really hard days. If you don't have a why for your business or for your career, the next bad thing that happens could be the thing that makes you quit, right? So if you don't have that why of why you do the thing, then it's going to be a lot harder to keep going. It could be the reason that you hold your tongue. I'm a person that sometimes will say things that not everybody will say, and that why that relate. So my relationship part might be the thing that stops me. And makes me to think, how can I say this a little better than I might have otherwise, right? So, and for our business friends here that are listening, it could be the thing or the experience or the heartache or the problem that they've witnessed that they just can't turn from. And I would challenge that there's probably even a deeper why in behind that. Then it could be that their company is, or their career or position within that company is the solution. It could be that there's no other business that's doing what they do in the way that they do it. And if they didn't do it, then that would be a disservice to the people that need whatever they're offering, right? A personal why within a company could be nothing to do with what the company's doing. But it could be if they've, not been seen in their childhood and their life, and it's I exist within this company, so the people in this company and the people that we deal with are seen, and I make sure that I heard of a company once they do Johnny on the spots, not glamorous, right? But it's a fact of life that they just need it, and they provide it for construction companies. And I wondered what it would be like for a person who grew up watching their dad or their mom in the construction industry, um, and seeing them come home in pain and tired and whatever at the end of the day. And that employee then being employed by this Johnny on the spot company, and their mission is their own why when they go and clean those portable toilets, that they make it as clean, as nice as they possibly can on that job site, because they know what that looked like when that person came home, right? So I just different things like that, how we can kind of make things happen because of what we've decided is a personal why.
Absolutely. There's so many things that you're saying there that are just they're triggering some great thoughts for me, and I know that there's a lot of people that they're in business and in the industry, especially if it's a career. If it's your business, then you need to understand what your why is, because you're at the end of the day, everything rests on you. All the people you employ, and if it's just you, you're a solopreneur, then it's got to be, why do I wake up? Why did I start this business? Who is it that I'm doing this for? Maybe it's for yourself, maybe it's for others, maybe you're just trying to build a retirement fund, whatever it is. Keep asking yourself why, and like Joel said, go deeper, keep digging down to find out what is the core, because I think you're going to surprise yourself. At the end of the day, you're going to surprise yourself, and a lot of people have never asked themselves why, especially if they're maybe in a job and they've been told, okay, you've got to go work this show, or you've got to plan this show. Maybe you're in charge of planning and coordinating the entire thing, and you need to figure out why. Is it just because you want a better review the next time your review comes around, or is there more to it? Do you have, you want to make sure that you do everything with integrity, and then you do the absolute best that you can for your company, and maybe there's something behind that. Maybe because you weren't taken seriously as a kid, and you just want to make sure that everyone really knows that you're going to do the best job that you possibly can every single time. Whatever it is for you, but continue to ask yourself and challenge yourself to really think of that why. And then when you're there on the floor, instead of checking your phone, you're going to go find that next person to talk to. You're going to find that next attendee to engage with, the next demo to give. The next thing, it's going to push you a little bit farther. It's going to push you a little farther.
Yeah,
So,
and I like that too, Jim.
yeah.
The why behind the why. We think we're at the trade show to do X, but if you dig a couple layers deeper, you kind of think of it like an onion. Think of a couple layers deeper, and there probably is that deeper why you said about a pension or about retirement or funding retirement, and maybe that is why you have that business. But why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
What is it that you want? What is that going to enable you to do in retirement? Give you some kind of maybe financial freedom, or it's going to allow you to spend time with the grandkids, or it's going to allow you to travel or do all those things. And why is that important to you? And you start uncovering these different things. And then, like we said, with the trade show, when you're there, it's not just there to show your face. Is it there to create contacts? Are you providing some kind of value to the people that are there? Are you going to be doing a podcast interview while you're there? Or what are you using that opportunity? Because it's an opportunity to do more than just be there and sit there. And another thing I like about the why is it's really a measuring stick. So what it is or why you need one is really because it's a measuring stick against what you want to do. When we think of the place we want to go, a lot of people or a lot of businesses, they call that they have their mission statement, or a vision statement. The vision is where they want to go. There's nothing like getting to the top of that mountain and discovering you're on the wrong mountain, right? You
Right.
climbed all that stuff, and you're just at the top of the wrong one, or climb that ladder, and you look around and it's like, oh, I wanted to be over there on that one. So discovering what that why is, every decision that comes up, a trade show, a business opportunity, a person that you hire, whatever it is, you can measure that up against your why, and it will either line up with it or it won't. And if it does line up with it, you've already done that decision making. So you've removed the disagreements or the discussions around if we're going to do it or not, because we've already decided that that's something we want to do and this is why. But it also, helps you to decide what you're not going to do. And it doesn't necessarily mean if it doesn't line up with your why that you can't do it, but it just might not get you closer towards your goal. It might move the needle further away from where you're actually wanting to go. Communicating that with your booth staff, like you said, is imperative, because you might know why you're there, but if you're not communicating that with them, you get that sitting on the cell phone or disengagement or whatever. And if you can even level up and help them to discover their why, like, can you imagine businesses that know why they're doing what they're doing? They know exactly how they're going to go about doing it, their mission, and then they help their employees to discover their why. Not only can you help figure out who actually wants to be in your business, right? Because it's part of discovering this is they might not be the best people for your business.
True.
They might not be the best people to have represent you at these shows. But you'll be able to release those people freely to go and do whatever it is that they want to do. But you will discover or help your employees discover why they're there and what they're going to be doing to help you to establish your goal through your why.
Nice. So as we kind of turn the corner here and start to wrap up the conversation, I mean, you've given us so many amazing things about whys, and really hopefully people are thinking about what is my why. And if you don't have it dialed in, this is something that it's okay. It's okay, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have it dialed in yet. But this has been fantastic. Hopefully, got your wheels spinning. So, Joel, what are some of the top tips or takeaways you really want people to get from our conversation today?
I think take the time. Really take some time to think about why you do, what you want to achieve, and the reasons for that. And that sometimes sounds really overwhelming and a lot of work, but to break it down into little pieces, start thinking about what you've experienced, what you've seen other people experienced, why that bothers you, why that doesn't bother you, why that makes you excited. I think of an example. There's a coffee that I like, Ethical Bean. And the founders of that company, they adopted their daughter from Guatemala. And what happened is being there, they discovered how coffee was grown and what was happening in that country with the inequity of how farmers were paid compared to how much coffee costs here. And but deeper than that, I think, because it doesn't specifically say on their website, they fell in love with their daughter. They fell in love with the people. and that drove them to do something incredible for the farmers that grow the coffee that
Wow.
supply ethical bean. Like it's crazy. There's a company called VinFast. They make electric cars,
Hmm.
and what they want to do is they want to elevate the lives of the Vietnamese people. They make electric cars. They want to elevate the lives of the Vietnamese people, not by maybe making them drive electric cars, but
Yeah.
giving them better jobs and stuff like that, giving them a different purpose. And
Sure.
then they want to elevate the position of Vietnamese brands globally. Like everything they do are compared against those two things. What
Wow.
you do, there's a reason behind what you do in trade show and university. You want to make companies stop settling for average or below average results and get them excited for trade shows again. But there's an even deeper than that why. You've looked at what that meant when somebody didn't make that happen, when they weren't successful in that. You've seen what companies do when they are successful in that, what that means to them, what that means for their business, and what that means for their clients. And you've dug deeper into that. So those are the words on your website. But I know from talking to you, there's a a desire to really, really help people so that they don't have to experience what that pain is that you've seen at these trade shows and the fallout after. So really just taking the time to step back, think about why you want to do what you do, what that looks like, um, and then actually put it into practice of using that as a measuring stick against every decision that you make, because that really is going to help you to discover contentment. It's going to help you to discover what you actually truly want to do in your life, and it truly is life changing. Once you do this, you can't go back. Like there's no going back, right? So that's what I would have to say.
Yeah. Not only not going back, you don't want to. You don't want to because you are now at a new level. And thank you for sharing that about me. And it's so true. I mean, the reason I started this podcast is because I know how hard it is to plan for a trade show. It could take months. Some companies spend an entire year planning for a specific show, and all that time planning and preparing and creating graphics and messaging and literature and all the things that go into these shows. It's a huge investment, even if it's a small investment of time and money and resources. It could be huge as a percentage of what is available to you as part of your budget. And I see companies just wasting it away because they don't do things the right way. And that's why I started this podcast, to help them get a better return, better budget, because I want to see everyone win. I don't want to see people coming to a show and having a horrible time when I'm loving it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
What you're,
and
what you're doing is you're impacting them for that. Maybe it's a day, maybe it's a couple days, maybe it's a bunch of hours over a weekend, whatever it is, or maybe it's a whole week or longer. I don't know how long some of these shows
yeah,
go. But so you're helping them with that time, but it's bigger than that. I want you to know that, and I want your listeners to know that it's bigger than that. It's what happens before and the
yeah,
all the things that they work together and building team and all that kind of stuff before it happens. The thing that happens while they're at the show, but then also what happens because they did that thing at the show after.
hmm,
Right?
yeah.
So it's even bigger than that. Right?
Wow. I'm getting goosebumpy over here. Thank you, Joel. Hey, are there any specific books or tools you would recommend if someone's looking, I really want to do this right. I want to get my why, but I want to do it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of great business books. For me, it's been I would say probably a 3 or 4 year journey to walk through these different things, and we actually have developed a why discovery guide. So for your listeners, so if they want to go to our website, www.bromleyfinancial.com/why dash discovery dash guide. They can download that there, and they can use that for any circumstance in their life, whether it's parenting, trade shows, work, career, whatever they want. They can plug that in there, and it's a fillable PDF. And then you start reading books. So you can Simon Sinek's Start With Why is a phenomenal book, and there's so many more. But yeah, if your listeners want to dive into that why discovery guide, Caitlin or I or both of us would be more than happy to have a quick Zoom call with whoever actually takes on this challenge of discovering their why, and see where it lands for them, and if there's even any more than that, and so we're more than willing to do that.
That's outstanding. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I will put the link in the show notes. So click on that show notes button and click on that link and go get that why discovery guide
Great.
over at Joel and Caitlin's website. Thank you so much for putting that together. That's going to change the trajectory, I think, of a lot of people and a lot of businesses. So Joel,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. If people wanted to know more beyond the why discovery guide, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, they can just go to our website. Like I said, www.bromley, that's Bromley, financialcoaching.com. And there's a contact page where they can reach out to us for multiple different reasons. But yeah, you can, and we're open to be talking about, it doesn't have to just be finances. It can be anything because finances just relate to everything. We talked about that before the show, but yeah, we can talk about anything as it pertains to the why and discovering all those different things. So
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Joel. Thanks for coming out, sharing your wisdom and really helping people understand the importance of why. And hopefully you got a lot of people now starting to think and do things a little bit differently and really just try to discover their why. So thanks for joining me today, Joel. It's been a pleasure again to talk with you.
Jim, thanks for having me on. It's been an honor. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate your interest in this, and I just appreciate you. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you as well, and everyone get that why discovery guide. Don't miss out on that. It's a free tool right to you from Joel and Caitlin. Keep getting better. I want to see you winning at these shows because there's so much upside at every single one of these shows if you do it right. So keep binging on episodes and keep coming back here to campus at Trade Show University. We will see you next time.